West course at Wentworth, not blessed by too much sunshine today, but it's all set for one of the biggest days in European golf. The final round of the Volvo PGA Championship, the tournament that the big names want to win, and the big names usually do. Good afternoon from Wentworth, where Colin Montgomerie is looking to become the first player since Nick Faldo in the early 80s to successfully defend this PGA title. He's tied for the lead coming into this final round after once again proving his complete mastery of Wentworth's closing hole. It was a hole he eagled on his way to victory last year, a hole he eagled to launch his challenge late on Saturday night, and a hole he eagled yesterday to get a share of the lead with South Africa's Retief Goosen. His putt for an eagle 3 completed a round of 67 and got him to 10 under par. Once again, Monty is the man to beat.
I mean, I didn't actually do much apart from play the par 5s very well. You know, if I'd hold the one on 17, I'd have played them 6 under, and that's all my round was. But you know, you've got to be patient around 5 through 11 is very, very important, and you'll be very patient around these holes. They're not really birdie holes, and yet you can drop one easily. I saw Darren today drop a few around there, and also Ernie, and it's very, very difficult not to. And I was just trying to be patient, trying to hit the greens and 2-putt as I was doing and walking off. And I was very happy coming to the 12th, knowing that, okay, I'm 1 under, I've got a few par 5s to come, and I made it count.
And I know how much it means to you to have won this title last year. Now you're at the moment on a share of the lead, and these are the positions you relish, aren't they? Well,
sure. You know, I mean, this is why I turned pro 11 years ago, to get into contention, and it's the reason we all do it, I suppose. You know, to see how we fare under pressure, and that's what it's all about. And I tend to thrive on it, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge of beating my peers, or trying to, and I really do thrive on the challenge of competition, and I'm as ambitious and have a strong will to win, and that has never left me, and long may that continue.
Montgomerie, the #1 in Europe the last 6 years. Retief Goosen is the current leading money winner. At one stage in the rain of yesterday, he led by 4, then 2 drop shots while Monty charged, meant that he was tied for the lead after his 70.
I hit actually a very good putt for par on 15, just hit it a bit too soft, and I got a bad 2-iron. I hit on number 16, obviously deserve a bogey. So yeah, I mean, I've had my 2 bad holes hopefully for the week. Hopefully tomorrow I can have good 18 good holes.
Montgomerie and Houston, the joint leaders. Waiting in the wings, Ernie Els at 74 yesterday. Still only 3 shots back. And the Masters champion Jose Maria Olazabal 4 shots back after a 72. Final round fireworks are likely from both. And also from Bernhard Langer, 3 times a PGA champion. Another player to eagle the 18th, but this was on the opening day. And Langer followed his opening round 65 with rounds of 73 and 70. There hasn't been a great deal for him to celebrate since day 1, but Langer is only 2 off the lead. He stayed in a share for 3rd spot with Mark McNulty after surviving a rules dispute yesterday evening. Langer and McNulty the closest challengers to the co-leaders Montgomerie and Houston. But there's a total of 8 players on 7 under par, including Ernie Els and the Ryder Cup captain Mark James. Another 5 players at 6 under, including Jose Maria Olazabal. And at 5 under, Sandy Lyle, Jesper Parnevik and the second round leader Darren Clarke, who fell back with a 77 yesterday. Now Darren, with Jesper Parnevik, has just got his final round underway. This is how the leaders follow him onto the course. Jose Maria Olazabal in about 20 minutes. Mark James with Ernie Els at 12:40. Robert Carlson with Paul Eales of Royal Lytham. Eales at 7 under par. An all-Australian pairing of Leaney and Lonard. Matthias Gronberg, Eduardo Romero, both had 67s yesterday. Then Langer and McNulty, and the final pairing, Montgomerie and Houston, will be teeing off at 1:25, tied for the lead at 10 under par. It's an excellent afternoon ahead of us, and I'm glad to say that we can offer you completely uninterrupted coverage from now through to the scheduled conclusion of this Volvo PGA Championship around about 5:30 this evening. Now, events so far, all this week we've been expecting great things from the young Spaniard Sergio Garcia, and today he's certainly delivering it. Brilliant form, in fact, birdieing the 2nd and the 3rd, an eagle at the 4th, a birdie at the 7th. That got him to 6 under par. He's just dropped a shot at the 9th. Gone out in 31, though. Sergio Garcia 5 shots off the lead. 4 off the lead is the 1996 winner Cosentino Rocca. He birdied the 1st, eagled the 4th, and has birdied the 6th as well. Rocca at 6 under par. And so too is Mark Rowe. He birdied the 2nd hole, and this was his putt for eagle at the 4th. And in different seasons so far, but Mark Rowe coming good today. Harmo Sanderlin also at 6 under par. And there's Mark Rowe going so well. And Paul Broadhurst, another player who's picked up birdies today at the 2nd, the 5th, the 6th and the 8th. And he is 6 under par. But here's a man with work to do after his problems of yesterday. Darren Clarke on the 1st fairway. A lot of good golf ahead of us this afternoon. Let's join Howard Clarke and Alex Hay.
Thank you, Steve, and indeed excellent start for this man who yesterday, Darren Clarke, set out in the final group, but today he must feel a little disappointed. There are 9 more groups following him, and that is thanks, of course, to the 77 that he scored yesterday, which was a heartbreaking experience. A real return to form. He's playing today with Jesper Parnevik. Jesper, who had rounds of 70 and 68 and is 5 under. And they stride down into the valley of the opening hole.
Now this is the 3rd green. And Yves Milka Singh. This is, I understand, for a bogey 5, not, as the caption said, a par 4. So that will be an ugly double bogey 6 for Jeev. One of the few Indian players in professional golf, certainly in European Tour golf anyway, but an excellent player. Certainly one to watch for the future.
Well, you couldn't wish for a nicer day for scoring. There's hardly any breeze about us. We're hopeful that the sun will come out as we move back to the first tee, where we have 2 players who have really been through all sorts of despondency over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Sandy Lyle of Scotland, who is making a marvellous return with 2 rounds of 70. There he is, and he's playing with the young New Zealander. We keep calling him the young New Zealander because when he arrived here, converted to professional after a successful career as an amateur in New Zealand, Michael Campbell, and he went off like a rocket. There he is. And then about the 5th hole of the final day of the Open Championship at St Andrews, they 3-putted and the wheels came off completely.
This is game number 25. On tee from Scotland, Sandy Lyle.
The voice of Ivor Robson, the official starter. And you'll see in Sandy Lyle's swing a quite remarkable feature where he swings to the top of his backswing, stops completely, and then reignites the swing to come through. And it has helped him stay on track. And I would say with great joy that it is the first time for years that his backswing has actually stayed in plane.
On tee from New Zealand, Michael
Beautiful
Campbell.
shot. Now Michael Campbell. His swing totally different, completely fluid from beginning to end. Marvellous rhythm. If he gets his confidence back, gets back to where he was about 4 years ago, there will be no stopping him. That's what we were saying then. 68 and 70 and 72 were his rounds, 6 under par.
We'll go ahead to the first green. Jesper Parnevik, long birdie putt across this first hole. Making its way round quite nicely. Very important to have a good start on this course today for all of these players.
Here's a very good Swedish golfer, Jarmo Sandelin. He's 6 under par, would you believe now? Second shot to the 6th. He started the day at 3 unders, had 1 birdie, 1 eagle, and looking like another birdie. This is a tremendous start for him. A very tall golfer.
Well, the conditions today really giving the players every opportunity to score low. Calm conditions, soft greens, beautiful surfaces to putt on. And really the course is presented quite beautifully this week. Congratulations to the green staff. Chris Kennedy is in charge of the greenkeeping staff at Wentworth, and I'm sure he's going to be a proud man at the end of the day. Now Darren Clark really needs a good start today, just missing that one, going 3 or 4 feet past. Had a torrid time yesterday.
Jarmo Sandelin just a left to right break here at the 6th for yet another birdie and an incredible start. He's 4 under par now thanks to that. 4 under par for today, 7 under for the tournament. And already a tournament winner this year. Spanish Open champion.
Now back to Darren Clark on the first green. That's a safely negotiated par 4. And hopefully Darren will come out with all guns blazing today. Now Jesper Parnevik, very dapper today. Looks like he might have a nice little bit of Clan Douglas cashmere on there, very nicely intarsiaed sweater. And that's a good 2-putt from this on this first green.
Michael Campbell on the first fairway. Very short drive, certainly compared to Sandy Lau, who we know is a very long hitter anyway, but he looks as if it might have even been a 3-wood he used, but I think it's unlikely. He just didn't quite catch it. 2-2-4. He's going to sling this up the right-hand side, use the contours of this fairway on the right-hand side, so it's going to go right to left as soon as it hits the ground, and try and use the ground that way. I think this could be as much as a 2-iron for Michael. Lovely day for golf today, just a little bit of breeze, just helping the players marginally. Michael been practicing hard, hitting it left to right, and that's a beautiful shot, chasing it up there, doing almost as I said. It now needs to drop down towards the flag, which it would do. Good shot by Campbell. Now Sandy Lau is 5 under for the championship at the moment. Just 180 yards to go, and Sandy's going to be hitting as little as a 6-iron, I suspect. Lofted shot, beautiful shot by Sandy. He seems his confidence is so much better now, and an excellent starting opening iron shot, which will give him a lot of confidence.
And Mark Rowe, who we saw eagle the 4th hole, has now birdied the 6th to get to 7 under par, and identical progress from Harmo Sanderlin, who's birdied the 2nd, eagle the 4th, and also birdied the 6th. They're both together at 7 under par. And lower down the leaderboard, Paul Broadhurst has gone out in 31. He's at 6 under par. So too is Costantino Rocca after birdieing the 1st, eagling the 4th, and a birdie at the 6th as well. Sven Struve has birdied 3 of the first 4 holes. So good progress from those earlier starters, altogether at 6 under par. Meantime, Sergio Garcia has parred the 10th hole, and he remains in the group at 5 under par.
Now out to the 5th hole, where Sven Struve, who Steve was saying has had such a wonderful start. And this par 3, which measures 191 yards. And he has started birdie, birdie, par, birdie, and he looks like he might have another one. Who knows? In the meantime, we'll just take a little look up at Ernie Els on this excellent practice facility here at Wentworth. You can see it's been knocked about. They move back as the days go on. This is the final day, so a nice view for the players of this fine golfer, Ernie Els, who has a great Wentworth record. Indeed is a member here thanks to winning 3 championships. And you'll see this beautiful rhythm, just a short iron, just that limber up, and Howard Clark, who's very used to these practice conditions. Howard, what's the sort of routine for a player like this?
Pretty much a straightforward routine, Alex, working through the bag from wedge through to driver. And really, you made some comments yesterday about Els standing very tall, very close to the ball. Not too close after he'd hit it, though.
No, that's very true. The comments I make with him is that he tends to get in tight to the ball with his toes and sits back on his heels, which flattens the swing. And now and again we get that push shot, which is his only failure.
But we'll go back onto the course, and the pairing of Lyle and Campbell have reached this first green. Now Sandy did whack that 3-wood of his right down the fairway there. Huge hit. And looks like Sandy might be back to his good old long hitting ways, which is fantastic. Michael Campbell just wandering around looking at the surface he's got to put across. Players very conscious of starting well. Really need to be 1 under after 4, I feel, at least, and lots of players have, well, exceeded that. This is Campbell for a birdie. A little bit short on pace there. It's gone behind Sandy Lyle's caddy there. And a testy one for Michael to start with.
Now then to Sven Struver. He's putting across the green at the 5th from the perfect length with his iron shot. I'll tell you what, half a row more and that would have been an incredible start. We've had some wonderful opening nines to show that scoring is on. Garcia, we thought he might get out in 29 with a birdie, but he took a bogey at the 9th.
On the first tee, Dean Robertson, winner of the Italian Open a few weeks ago. And they're moving this ball out. Very little wind today. Conditions pretty much perfect. Now the Masters champion, more colourful today, been in grey seemingly for a couple of days, and oatmeal I think Peter Ellis described him as. And hopefully he's got his driving boots on today. Could do with playing from the fairway instead of the rough. That's wandering down the slope, just catching the right semi. Won't be a problem, but it'll be an awkward stance for his second shot.
Now to the second, Jesper Parnevik. But first we'll go to Sandy Lyle at the opening hole. This for a birdie 3. That's sad because he deserved that. He hit a cracking drive, a beautiful iron, and then just turned off on the last roll for Lyle. But great to see Sandy back. 70, 70, 71. That's very consistent scoring. We're seeing wonderful signs from him.
Now Parnevik. This is on the second green. And another positive putt there from Jasper. Plays most of his golf these days on the US Tour and very successful.
Now here's the French golfer, Jean van der Velde at the 4th. And that's, he had a nice birdie at the 3rd hole. 5 under for the championship. Young French golfer who's playing very well indeed this season.
Second tee, Sandy Lyle. Sometimes I think he's going to stop there, and it's quite amazing. Another beautiful shot. And Alex was saying that he was swinging on a very good line, and I have to agree. It's certainly the best line of swing that I've seen Sandy swinging on. Tended to have a strange move before, but he's right on plane, and the results are improving. Nice to see it. Michael Campbell now hitting a 7-iron. 155 yards. Just trying to cut this one from the left of the green. Flag today, 7 on from the right of the green. And nicely done. You see the spin taking that ball just a little bit to the right as it pitched. And 2 excellent tee shots.
Now to the 10th tee for Konstantina Rocca, who's covered the first 9 in amazing 31 shots. He's 6 under for the championship, and that's a nice tee shot. That's a quality. You'll get an idea of what happens on this 10th green, this pin position. Ball feeds down towards it from the left side.
Dean Robertson on the first fairway. Very good drive, just 182 to the front. Good player, this guy. Had a bad start yesterday in the worst of the weather. Looks like a 6-iron as well. It's a very strong, but it's going left. Needs to hold on. And it gets a very friendly kick, but it's gone over the back, very close to the second tee. So that's a over club there. It was obviously one more than I thought, a 5-iron. Olathabo. Awkward stance, as Howard Clark was saying, down the right-hand side. It just hit it a little bit too far, if anything. 175 to the front for Olathabo. Down the ball below his feet. Likely to hit it left to right from here. Seemed to come off the club very well indeed, and it did. And that keeps going, and that could be very close. Great shot by the Masters champion.
Second green, Sandy Lyle is for a birdie. Just missed his birdie putt on the first. You can hear the crowd at least willing his ball to go into the hole. Always had tremendous support, used to live very close to the course. In fact, he used to go out of his back garden onto the 14th of the East course. Play a few holes to start with and go out and play the PGA Championship. Amazing. Just 4 or 5 holes to open up with, and that was his warm-up routine. But now a resident of the kingdom up there in Scotland. Now Michael Campbell will have learnt a little bit from Sandy's putt. We'll have seen that this dies away to the left. If he doesn't get it on line, it will move to the left. And he's pushed that one.
Jesper Parnevik here on the third. It's hit a good drive. If there's any breeze, it's slightly downwind today. It always plays, it looks short the second shot here, but it always plays at least a club longer. He's got 176 to the pin, 160 to the front. So Jesper pins on the second layer, so Jesper will be hitting a good hard 6-iron here. Wants a lot of height on it to get it to land soft. Well, he's hit it high.
Now, Boxy, how are you doing down there?
Not too bad. It's warming up, Howard, slowly.
Good. What have they done today? Have they made the holes bigger or something? There seem to be lots of birdies.
Well, as you probably well know, Howard, there's not a lot of breeze, so it's making it a lot easier today, and it's warmer. Darren Clark's got 157 to the front, slightly downwind, pin on 16. Total of 173. Darren's a long hitter. Darren will hit 7-iron here. Good clean hit. It's high. Just on the bottom layer. But as Howard said earlier, if you can get off to 1 under after 4 holes today is a good start, because there's plenty of shekels to play for today, that's for sure.
Out to the 10th green, and Rocca, who's going storming through the course. This is for a 2 to par 3. And I think he's as surprised as I am. We saw the ball feed when it landed to the right, and that one ran true and straight.
Sven Struve, a second shot to the 6th. It's from the left side. Hit a long shot down this 6th hole. And a good position to come in from, and an excellent shot. That'll set him up for yet another birdie.
Now to the first hole. Olathabo, who started badly both 9s yesterday. This would be a marvellous 3. Had only he given it half an ounce more. Takes so little. And that's rather sad, because both shots were exceptional. He had that sad look about him at the 18th hole yesterday, finishing in the, for a 72, which to some players would be very good golf, to him quite costly.
Now up at the practice ground, Bernhard Langer. One of the most meticulous of players, very precise in his practice. And this is just really a warm-up routine, but Bernhard will go through just about every club in the bag. Most players will use a wedge to start with and then miss a few, hit a 7, 5, 3, possibly a 1-iron, and then move on to the longer clubs. Pete Coleman is caddy, cleaning the grips, just dampening them off and then drying them with a towel so that they get the ultimate tackiness. Players like to feel the soft grip there. There's a nice view from the pole cam. It's an interesting implement, and Bernhard's certainly not rushing his practice routine, that's for sure, but making sure he tries to get as much positive feedback from this routine as possible. Good smooth looking swing.
Now to the first green, we saw Dean Robertson's second shot charge through the green. Yes, and he pitched it back nicely, left himself 4.5 feet uphill, and he's got off to the start. He'd be happy with the par 4.
Up ahead at the third green, Jesper Farnevik, after that excellent second shot, found the correct level. 3 different tiers on this green, gradually getting bigger as they go back and wider. But this middle tier is where the flag is today. Parnevik currently at 5 under par for the championship. This putt will move just slightly from his left. Not too much movement on this one, I would suggest.
Now to the 8th, and Jarmo Sandelin at 7 under. Second shot, 7 yards from the left-hand side of the green. The pin is, oh, and I was going to say he will run down towards it, but that ball came to a rather sudden stop.
Back on the second tee, Dean Robertson. 7-iron shot, this one for Dean. And trying to cut this one round the bunker. And done that beautifully. Lovely tee shot.
Darren Clark. And you saw the body movement. I had a sudden feeling about that. He had a look about him. He was not happy. He was certainly lacking in confidence.
Now Olathabo. Looks like he's drawn that one slightly. And just drawn it away from the flag, safely into the middle of the green, and a good chance of a birdie.
Now there's an interesting collection of clubs. You can see just about everything. You're only allowed 14, remember. It might look as if there's 114 in there, but only 14 will go to the first tee with Colin Montgomerie. And his round yesterday of 67, which gave him a share of the lead with Retief Hussain, was perfect golf. Not a single drop shot. Just getting last minute instructions, new glove, like a new glove. And you just see a lovely loosening up action. Just this is just a pitching wedge, relaxed, bit of divot, throw the ball up, a little over 100 yards. Pick your target before you hit it, not after it lands. There's plenty of them up there.
Michael Campbell here just cleared the trap off the tee. 175 to the front. Pins on 16. Good hard 5-iron this will be. Pushed it down to the right hand side, and that's, yep. Not happy with that, Mike. Unfortunately, if you can get off to today 4-3, 4-4 is a pretty good start. But anyway, over to Sandy now, who's got 156 to the front. Here's Sandy, good 6-iron this will be. Pausing a lot in his backswing there, but looks pretty good. Pulled it slightly left, but it's up. That's a good shot.
And Jarmo Sandelin on the 8th. This after coming up a little bit short. Long birdie putt. And that's moving a little bit, isn't it? Wow.
Great try.
Playing with Des Smith. Jarmo is currently at 4 under for today. 7 under overall.
Now out to the 9th hole, Mark Rowe, who's going very well. He's now 7 under. And that is a very wayward sort of shot, considering the golf that he's been playing. He's 4 under for today's round. Par out is 35, so he needed a 4 for 31 as we go back to the 2nd hole.
A little bit of movement right to left on this one for Jose. And not quite the start that Ollie was looking for. Just missed the birdie at the first and again at the second.
So he stays at 6 under par. Mark Rowe and Jarmo Sandelin at 7 under par. Let's just take you down to show you the group of players. Well, David Howell has just birdied the 13th to join that trio at 7 under par, and he's had a terrific round so far. He was out in 31, now birdied the 12th and the 13th to join Mark Rowe and Jarmo Sandelin at 7 under par. But the group at 6 under par, and Sergio Garcia has now joined them once again with a birdie at the 12th. Garcia out in 31 and now a birdie at 12. Paul Broadhurst and Cosentino Rocco were also out in 31 shots today. And Jose Maria Olazabal, 2 holes played. He stays at 6 under par. And Sven Struve, 3 birdies in his first 6 holes today.
He's got a similar lazy rhythm, Alex, to Els, hasn't he? Although he's a slighter figure, but he does generate a lot of power.
Yes, well, they were brought up in the same sort of school. They were good companions, good golfing rivals as amateurs, so they probably took on a similar game. Both very powerful people, as indeed is Colin Montgomerie. His swing has stayed fluid and unchanged. He hasn't gone off in search of some miraculous alteration. Lovely rhythm he gets. You get the oh, and then the clap, and there it comes. Travels in a little bit of a gradient and a slope towards the right. That's perfect.
In Garbett for a par. And he's just about, it ran out of gas.
Paul Eales at the 12th. He had a pretty poor second shot, and he had a lot of grass between blade and ball there, and on it goes. From that range, it's not a bad shot. It's into within 9 feet.
Mark James has pulled it left here off 13. He's got the grass going with him. He's got 152 to the front. He's hitting it over the trees. Pin's on 9, 161 to the pin. He's made the green. That'll just feed in a little bit left to right. Good shot.
Yeah, he's done very well there, Richard. He's missed the bunker just level with the flag. He's done very well to get it on the green from that poor position up the left-hand side of this 13th hole.
Now there's the 9th green, a little bunker at the front that protects it, and Bernhard Langer had played a miracle of a pitch shot, so now McNulty, who is 7 under, as you can see, a couple of bogeys. Struggling a wee bit at this hole. This for a par 4. And a wonderful career with victories all over the world, McNulty. Now you can see how Pete Coleman has placed that ball down in front of the marker.
We'll go ahead to Paul Eales. This is on the 12th for a birdie. And another lovely putt for Paul there. He'll move to 11 under par.
Now Eales at the 13th, second shot. He's got a much better view of the flag there. And that will come down a little bit, but not one of his most or more exciting shots. Don't kill the divot. Oh, it's painful.
Almost 180 there, wasn't it? Now, back to Langer. This will be a miraculous par at the 9th. Remember, he was in the trees on the right. Already performed a couple of miracles today. But paying the penalty for a wayward tee shot, and that's a bogey 5 for Bernhard. Good figures up to there. But he's still in there, only 3 shots behind. And this group actually losing a little bit of ground on the players in front.
Now David Carter dropped a shot at the 13th. This is the 14th up the hill. And that's a lovely shot. That is a beautiful iron shot here. 179 yards is par 3. Carter at 9 under, so too is his partner Ian Garbett. He also dropped a shot at the last hole.
Back to the 9th. Mike Houston's down on the 9th fairway. How are you doing down there, Mike?
I'm doing just fine. It's lovely out here. It's a beautiful day to play golf, and the crowd are really enjoying these two players. And it's Gooson's going to go first. So he's got 162 to the flag. Just a little conversation between him and Collins, whose shot it was. But this is a good line to come in from Retief. It doesn't matter really too much where it is. Pin up on the right a little bit, and he's coming straight over the bunker at it. Looks like a 7-iron for Retief. That says it all. Beautiful shot. And Montgomerie from the same distance, just maybe a yard closer on the angle.
162. All in, yeah.
162 yards, all in, he said, so...
Not sure what the all-in means, but I imagine it's the putting distance. What looks like an 8-iron, Howard. I think it's slightly different. It's straight at it again. Oh, really pitched in the hole. Absolutely wonderful shot. Really is special to watch Colin Montgomerie when he's playing like this.
Certainly has taken his game onto the course from the practice ground, and that's something that the professionals always like to do, especially when they're hitting the ball well on the practice ground, that is.
Now, Ian Garbutt, I said he dropped a shot at the last hole. He did. He's got this for a 2 at the 14th. Just on the low side. Young man whose best finish ever is 7th place in the Dutch Open last year. That's as a professional, I mean.
13th green, Mark James for a birdie. After that quite spectacular shot around the trees. Didn't quite judge that one, and it's left one of those again.
Stephen Leaney at the 12th with a driving iron. And that is a beauty. That really is a great shot. He pitched that right at the front fringe, so he has a chance of an eagle. And that would take him to 12. Oh, it's all smiles.
Mark safely holing out there. And just a couple behind. A couple quick birdies for Jesse here, and be right in the thick of things. Somebody needs to challenge Montgomerie.
Well, it might be Langer. Who knows? This is him on the 10th. Oh, he had trouble left the other day. Remember, it cost him a 5. They called 4 this time.
Retief Goosen. Just a couple off the lead. Those are his figures. Just the drop stroke at the first, which didn't set him off to a good start, but he's picked up since then, and he's 1 under for the round. And this will be for a classic birdie. 32 birdies so far on this 9th hole, but that's not today, that's for the championship. So it'll be up to Monty to gain the 33rd birdie on the 9th hole this week. 46 players under par today so far. That's out of a total of 66 on the course or finished.
Oh, an interesting shot here for Paul Eales. He must surely have to draw it. Yes, he sets it out right, tries to turn it. Will he make it? Well, he did. He got it curving, and he's left it just short. You can see it's running back towards him a wee bit, but it's okay there.
Back to the 9th. Now this putt should move from left to right, but only a little bit. But the way they're looking at it, and Alistair's just said something to Monty there, which we couldn't quite hear. Maybe a little bit of double break on this one. Right to left to start with, and then a little bit left to right at the hole. And the caddy said slightly straight, sir, because he was too nervous to call it. Get a good view of this one. But it went left to right all the way there. Solid 4 and a solid 9 holes of 32 strokes there for Monty. And the back 9 is where it all happens.
Well, now Mark James at the 14th. 20 yards up the green, the pin position, and that's one of the best shots we've seen today.
So Colin Montgomerie goes out in 32, 3 birdies, no drop shots, and has a 2-shot lead over Mark James, Paul Eales and Retief Hoosen. Stephen Leaney at 10 under par and Bernard Langer, who dropped a shot at the 9th. Sven Struve, Harmo Sandelin in with rounds of 66. And Dean Robertson at 9 under par after 14. He's picked up a couple of birdies on the way back. Ian Garbett, David Carter, Ernie Els complete the group on 9 under par. Warren Bennett, splendid round from him today. Challenge Tour winner last year. Warren Bennett in with a round of 67. And David Howell with his 65 is alongside him at 8 under par. Then from Paul Broadhurst, a round of 67, and Sergio Garcia, that splendid 66.
Bernhard Langer, whose ball was in a sense saved by pitching into the crowd, stopped it going on to the hard ground. Yet the other day it cost him a 5 from up there, but today it wasn't quite so bad, and he had the opportunity of chipping it just this close. He had that little blemish on his card at the last hole where he bogeyed, and even that had him. There it is, a blue square bogey out in 33. Now he doesn't want to have 2 of them on a row. Just watch the right hand as he applies it, just the right forefinger and thumb just down the side. It's not gripping, it's just ready to sort of push it through. Beautifully smooth, economical stroke, and it gives him the par 3.
Paul Eales. Remember, he just came up short. Chip up the green. And very nicely played.
Now Mark James is, oh yes he has, Mark James, he's the one that's chasing Montgomerie. By Jove. Isn't there something, the man who says he's not good enough to be in the Ryder Cup team, he might win the PGA Championship. That'd be an embarrassment.
And they might have to look for a new captain. Setting the standard, I think, is the way you could put it at the moment. As we watch Retief Hoosen on the 10th. 186 yards, this par 3 10th hole. Should be playing a 6-iron for Retief Hoosen here. Just checking his alignment there. Very difficult to line up on this tee. Notice the stripes of grass in front. Great sound there. And in off the bank, and that's going to end up very nicely indeed. Bit of local knowledge.
Now Stephen Leaney, remember, second shot to the 12th with the long iron. This is for the eagle. Well, they're predicting a great future for this young man in the southern hemisphere, and you can see why. He's 11 under now, within 2 of the lead. A drop shot at the first hole.
Montgomerie on the 10th. This is also a 6-iron. Almost magnetized to the flags today.
Now here's a nice swing. Paul Eales. Tee shot to 14, lovely balanced finish. And that's a lovely iron shot from Eales. 11 under, chance of a 2.
Mark James on the 15th tee. Fearsome tee shot, bunker left. Must be avoided, and the landing area is only about 15 yards wide at that point, but this is going left. The left-hand side of the fairway, an absolutely perfect position. He couldn't have walked down there and put it in a better spot, I assure you. Many cards been ruined with the tee shot on this hole. Very tree-lined. And you want to be down the left-hand side if you can, so you have to fly the bunker. About 230 yards to do that, which is really no problem for elves, of course. And this looks pretty good. Yes, that's good too. Touch right maybe to get as clear a shot in as he might like, but none more for that. Is on the fairway.
That ball of Erniel's just stopping on a nice little uphill. There's a wee hollow just on the right-hand side of the green. Let's have a look at the hole, and it measures 466 yards. There's the bunker Beverly was talking about. You need 240 yards to fly over it. Ernie is across to the right where these shadows are, and the trees that come out might be interfering just a little bit. The pin is, of course, on its sandy position, 6 yards in from the right-hand side. So that big bunker there on the right comes right into it, and so too does the slope on the green. There it is. So when you play to that pin, you play well to the right.
Now Colin Montgomerie on the 10th. Another iron shot, finding the centre of the green. And as Gary Player used to say, having to lean over to see the flag today once he's hit the ball. This will break from the left a little bit, aiming well outside. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Another view of this one. See him aiming down with his feet left of the hole. And the club springing up into the air after the strike, staying very still with it. Mr. Policeman there looking after him, making sure no fans go on and try and pinch his hat or something. Now Retief Goosen will have seen that one. But he's pushed that one, and he'll stay at 11 under. Should he hold that one? Alphabetical scores there. Pick out your favourite players. Scores in the brackets on the right are completed rounds. And that's a good start, isn't it? 69 and 367s there on the bounce. Wow. Andrew Coltart, nice 69 today. Nick Faldo, 71. And safely in for his par 3, but that's an opportunity missed for Retief. And really, he was the favourite to make the birdie on this 10th hole.
Now to the 15th green and the match with Ian Garbett, who has just dropped a shot at the hole, sad to say. And young Carter, who's going along very well indeed, as so many are. The leading score now, 14 under. That's exactly the score that Colin Montgomerie won it with last year. So he only needs a few birdies to go through that. Now David Carter, 4 of 4 to stay at 9 under. You can see what a wonderful year he had last year. He goes to defend his Irish Open Championship at Druids Glen in a little while. Now this, I gave him a bogey. He hadn't actually putted yet. This is for, he's dropped a shot. And that is a 5.
Mark James first to play his second shot at the 15th. 190 yards to the flag. I think he can get there with at least a 5-iron. It might even be a little 6. Wonderful playing conditions out here. Virtually no breeze and a good light, not glaring sunshine, just a nice soft light. So no wonder the scores are so good. That and the talent of all these players. Now that looks pretty good. This green actually slopes right to left, and if he's not happy with it, that doesn't look too bad to me. I think he'll have a uphill putt at least, but he wanted it closer, didn't he? Ernie Earl's just a few yards closer. And as Alex said, he is on a little upslope. 187 yards to the flag. The second shot here is slightly downhill. And the bunker front right won't really trouble Ernie. The pin today is about 22 yards onto the green, so there's a lot of space between that front bunker and the hole. Could be as little as a 7-iron. Hefty divot came up with that. Touch right, but only a touch. Maybe half a club short, but pretty good. That's a tricky putt though. Downhill with a reasonable amount of break.
Paul Eales for a birdie on the 14th. Another one hits the dead centre. And the Barnsley brain, as they call him, will be getting a little bit jumpy now. There he is. Ian Clark, his name. On his way down the last 4 holes. Nice bit of percentage coming up for him.
Now Bernard Langer putting down the 11th green. And as others before him have done, he got a little bit timid on the strike there, left it short. Can't blame them. Once it gets past the hole here, it's very swift.
Paul Eales has made his way to the 15th tee. One of the most difficult shots on this course, the drive down the 15th. Need to find the fairway, and that's in ideal position, just past where Ernie Els has just played from.
You can see Mark James' ball. There are very few points on the screen where you have a dead straight putt. He's just about found it. Ernie's ball's got a massive swing and a downhill, but Mark James is almost directly up the slope. Very good rounds of 67, 70 and 72. Yesterday, when he started off so badly, we kind of thought that he was blowing it. Get back to the business of being a captain rather than a player. And now all of a sudden he's right in the throes of it all. 5 under for this round. In the galleries, of course, the horseshoe around the screen. Always been a pretty tough hole, this. It's offered up a lot more birdies this week, but in days of old, when it was a par 5, just another 25 yards on it. I think Mark James, he's in the mood. We could see he's a bit pumped up when he hit the tee shot. And I think he'll give this one a bit of a rattle. You don't want to take it too far past, but he'll go straight and firm, and he might. Oh! As I say, there's a point on every slopey green where there's a straight putt.
Stephen Leaney on the 13th. This is for a par. Very nicely done.
Gooson's second shot to 11. Pin in a very, very teasing position today, just on the front here. And he got the distance absolutely right, but it's unfortunately pin high left. My goodness, a brave shot indeed. Only 137 yards they needed to hit it. And Colin Montgomerie still got his sweater on. I suspect he's rather like some of the cricketers who always feel that it's unlucky to take it off. But anyway, Colin's got just about 10 yards ahead of where Retief was. He's got 125 yards. He wants to hit it 127. That's a wedge. Watch out. Another wonderful iron shot by the champion.
Back to the 15th, Mark James just tapping in that very tricky hole. Very good par 4 for James. Well, Ernie Els also made his 4. He's on his way to the 16th tee.
Now Bernard Langer. This is at the 12th hole, and just missing the fairway on the right there, leaving him a long second shot to this par 5.
A very long second shot here for Paul Eels, and he's caught the bunker. And that little metal, funny little club he's got there, looks like half a wood and half an iron, or an iron gone wrong, but he had a longer tee shot than else, and he's bunkered it with that wee club. They do invent and design some wonderful pieces of machinery now to hit the golf ball with. Strangest assortment of shafts and heads.
Back on the 11th green, Retief Goosen. Birdie putt from the back part of this green and coming up again short. Quite a slow putt down the green, this one. We've seen a few players short on this one. Retief will finish out there as Monty waits. Players very mindful of not being anywhere near their playing partner's line, but that was obviously very clear of Colin's line. Checking to see if the ball's round. Now Monty hitting the ball right down the flag today. And I said earlier that he was having to lean over to see the flag. That's because the bounce of the ball is right down the flag line and so straight, it's unbelievable. And they attributed Gary Player with those comments many years ago when he used to say, I'm hitting the ball so far and so straight, I'm having to lean over to see the flag. he's getting away from them. 15 under now. So easy, isn't it?
Now Mark James must be wary. Bunker up the left-hand side. He's let that go up the right-hand side. And will it hang on to the fairway? Yes, it turns in. That's very good indeed.
Certainly seems to be getting away from them. 3 shots the gap now for Colin Montgomerie after those birdies at the 10th and the 11th. Valiant challenge from the Ryder Cup captain Mark James. But he's at 12 under par with Paul Eales, who's birdied the 12th and the 14th. And then Stephen Leaney, Retief Hoosen at 11 under par. Bernard Langer now 5 shots off the lead. Struve and Sanderlin have finished with rounds of 66. And Ernie Els at 9 under par playing the 16th.
Now the crowds with this final match, understandably. This is an unusual view, isn't it? Looking through, you get an idea of the big trees, the height that carry right across the 12th fairway that you must hit over the top. And I can assure you that isn't a pushover. Those trees are a good 70 or 80 feet tall. The whole dog legs away to the left of the gap you can see. That center tree, the sort of umbrella topped one, that with a bit of a draw, that's the perfect shot. It's par 5. He looks anxiously as though he was running out of ground. But no, there's no problem there. You saw the little kick which showed the ball was spinning to the left.
Thank you. Paul Eales, this is on the 15th. And how a low go in there. Great shot from there. Well done, Paul.
Now let's enjoy Retief Hoosen. He's taken a tighter line up the left side. And on it comes. And that's just a nice straightforward mid to long iron for him.
Bernard Langer's pitch to the 12th green. Missed the fairway on the right. And missed the fairway on the left with his second shot. But again, he gives himself a putt for a 4.
A very good bunker shot Paul Eales played onto this 15th. As I said earlier, the slope is tremendous. He's now got a similar line to Mark James' first putt, which is straight up the hill, straight and firm. That's a nice 4 for Eales, keeps him at 12 under, sharing second place with Mark James. Lovely start, isn't it? 2 pars, an eagle, holding a wonderful, I think that metally woody thing he hit into the hole at the 3rd. It's difficult to describe what it is. It's like a 3-iron with a bump on the back, but he hit it straight in the pot for a 2.
Well, Eales has missed the fairway on the 16th and has found an awful lie. The ball is sitting down in some very lush grass, and he's not coming in from a good angle either. The pin today is cut on the right-hand side of this green, just 5 places in, and there is a line of bunkers down the right-hand side of the green as well. So safe bet is to go left of the flag, but out of the lie he has, it's pretty difficult to predict exactly where the ball is going to go. I think the great asset for these players is the fact that their strength not only enables them to hit the ball a long way, but the fact they can control the club face better than we can when they come across a line like Ernie's got here. Over the back is dangerous. Falls away steeply, this green. And that has found the green beautifully and really brilliantly controlled from the lie he had. Excellent shot.
Stand still, please.
Mark James, on the other hand, hit a perfect drive. He still doesn't want to mess about with anything right of the flag. And that adrenaline pumping, it doesn't hit too long either. So it falls away about 5 feet over the green here. Miss it there, you've got a tricky shot back. And the pin is only 5 yards from the back of the green. But he hasn't fallen into that trap. Far too wily a character for that. So James a chance to go to 13 under and be 2 out of the lead.
And you see the bunker up the left-hand side. It's caused havoc, not just the bunker, but the slope off it. It's where Sam Torrance finished his day, landing on the back, the left-hand end of that bunker, kicking into the forest. So you don't want to get involved with it in any shape or form. Now, this man is straight enough. Eels, slippery eels, his colleagues call him. You can just slide past on the right of this bunker. He can take a driver. And slippery past he did, sliding, my goodness. You can say, I just slid that one past the bunker. See, if you're not as big and strong as the others, but straight enough to hit a driver, you make amends.
That was Langer for his birdie on the 12th. Rough birdie. Four of them today, Bernhard.
Montgomerie in the middle of the 12th fairway, 217 all in, as they like to say, obviously is the expression, to the flag. And a little bit of wind around the place, but nothing serious, and I think this is going to be a 3-iron taken all the way by Colin.
Oh, come on now, put that camera away, it shouldn't be out here.
Oh, there's a lot of people in
We're
there.
ready to go.
Alistair having a few words with them. Big crowd, it's always difficult for everybody to keep quiet. So as we've seen before, he goes through his routine again. Once he stops, has to start again, he goes right back to the beginning.
Go. Go.
How good's this going to look?
Go.
If this is up, it's fantastic. An absolutely brilliant shot by Montgomerie. Took everything on fearlessly.
And Mike, 14 under par this week for the par fives, and you can see why, can't you?
Well, his driving number one, Howard, is absolutely faultless. He very rarely misses a fairway, and of course his long irons today have been, well, they've been amazing. So Retief, having seen that, I think he's feeling a bit sort of wondering what earth's happened to him today. But he's had a great drive down here. He's only got 185 to go to the front, so he can get up easily. Well, that's exactly 200 to the flag. But he's let it go, and that is not a good shot, really. Quite close to the green, having hit a great drive and really wasted it.
Now then to the 16th, Mark James. This for a 3. It was a pretty good putt, that, you know. Yes, he thought it might come a little more from the left. I think we all did. But he's not looking like a man who's gone through a few rough times with the putter. Tried every kind of putter, the long shaft one. He once tied a putter to the back bumper of his car and towed it home when it behaved badly.
Stephen Leaney from the left side of the 15th. Just mishit that one slightly, heading towards and into the bunker on the right on 15.
Well, a welcome for the man who is certainly playing the best golf in Europe. There's no question about that, anywhere in the world, in fact, right now. If he can keep this going, his performance when he won the Benson Hedges, We thought that was golf of the highest order. So is this.
Mark James for his par on 16. Couple of birdies, Jesse, we need. A couple of birdies to finish at 14. That'll post a nice number.
Now Stephen Leaney in the bunker. Onto this fast lightning surface. Here it comes. This could be very good. This could be almost outstanding. Beautiful shot from Leaney. And he's in for a big prize, this Australian. He was presented with a very nice award as the ANZ champion in Australia at the beginning of this year before embarking on his travels around the world. I had the pleasure of being there at that. Charming young man. His partner Leonard too is a very powerful player. Leonard, who is now over par unfortunately today, 6 under for the championship. Great strength of young players on the subcontinent. Leonard putting up the green.
We'll go to the 12th. Retief Goosen eyeing up this eagle putt across the green. And really, if he's going to win, I think something like this is going to have to go in. 4 behind the lead that Colin holds. And really quite a remarkable week on the par 5s for Monty. If he eagles this one, that'll be so many eagles we've lost count, but certainly go to 16 under on the par 5s. And when you consider that he will go to 17 under if he holds that, quite a feat really. This is Goosen, and he obviously thought he needed to hold that one as well. Give it a go. Now Colin Montgomerie with this putt. This is to move 5 ahead of his nearest challenger. 5 ahead with 6 to play. Many things can happen though over these closing holes. Colin's already proved that he can finish with birdies and eagles at the snap of a hat. There's the trouble that lurks just to the left of the 12th. A little hazard there and the out of bounds fence. But no such problems for Colin. This is just outside the left. Oh, it held on. I didn't think that was going to hold on. 17 under, eh? No wonder I kept missing putts on these greens. That was just about as straight as a die. And who says he can't putt, eh? Look at this one, just pushes it a little bit. I thought he'd just lost with this one to the right, but it just held on. Very nice. Birdie, birdie, eagle. He's gone the last 3 holes. Sounds like something that Ken Bavin and I used to talk about with a guy called Dick Seamer. Birdie, birdie, eagle, eagle, birdie, eagle, birdie. He had a tremendous 9 holes once, playing in a golf match. Retief makes a birdie and loses a stroke. Now 5 behind.
Mark James tee shot, 17th, out of bounds down the left, and I think he's let that go to the right. Yep, that's in the right semi at the moment, and just easing its way into the thicker stuff, but not lying too badly. Very dangerous driving hole, and not an unwise drive by Mark.
Now Paul Eales at the 16th. He really is a tidy player, isn't he? That's a beautiful strike. Should sit down. Yes, it does, and screws itself away from the pin, but a good iron shot.
Six holes to play for Monty. Out with the driver. Doesn't seem too concerned with that one. And on the short stuff yet again. What a lovely way to play the game, isn't it? Tees, fairways and greens. Now Retief with a metal 3. Hands come off that one. He's let that one go right a little bit. Is that a Man U fan there? Not anymore. He's been moved out of the way quite swiftly. And Retief's found the rough.
Well, now the pot begins to boil and bubble for second place. Colin now is spoiling it. He's spoiling it for all these other lads coming round and about. A walk in the park, or is it? 13th green. Bernard Langer, 11 under. It's quite extraordinary how in the space of an hour the whole field sort of opened up. It was. We wondered how on earth we were going to avoid a playoff, and suddenly Montgomerie is 5 ahead. Much can happen, of course, but at this moment he appears to be totally in charge of things, in control of things. Langer now for a birdie. Langer just tapping in. Stays 11 under.
Paul Eales on the 16th green. Long putt for a birdie. Nicely lagged up to the side of the hole. Makes life easy when you can just have a little tap in for the par. No sweat, as they say. He'll make his way down to the 17th tee, down the hill.
McNulty has lost his putting touch today. That was his putt for a par, and he's had a miserable day. I thought he might well be challenging today, but it's not to be. Very untidy by his high standards, and very expensive as well.
Well, Mark James was rather fortunate with his lie on the 17th hole. The ball is actually lying not too badly. He's got a fair old distance to go still 280 yards to the green, so I don't think with an iron he will get there. He really needs to position this down the fairway, and it's a very narrow landing area, only about 10 yards wide at certain points down here, and the rough is quite thick, and if he gets in that, it makes the third shot very difficult to judge. That looks a pretty good line. Yes, that's very well played. Great course management there from Mark James.
Retief Goosen, we saw his tee shot, and this is the result of it. He missed it pretty completely almost, I would say, and he's given himself a really awkward lie. He's just over 200 yards from the front of the green, and his lie isn't great by any means. This is where the grass gets very, very thick and wiry. It sort of grabs the club head very easily. he's given that a little bit of a hook. It's done pretty well. It's going to come up short of the bunker, but that was, I suspect, about as good as he could do from there. It's another example of what happens when you miss the fairways. Most of them are about 25 yards wide, and but Colin Montgomerie doesn't miss many fairways. I think if he missed one, it was only by about a yard, and he's only got 151 yards exactly to go. He's in the mood to do anything. Is that going to spin down the hill? Just a little bit. Not as good as some of the previous shots, but still not bad, is it?
Ian Garbett. This for a birdie at the 17th. Garbett, who's had a pretty good day, but of course when the tension starts to kick in, many fall by the wayside or stumble. Tomorrow, don't forget, the last day for Open Championship entries. Those of you who want to enter. Now Ernie Els. Now this needs to draw one around here. These trees on the left above his head are in his way. He's got to draw this quite a lot if he's going to find the line into the green. Seemed to make very good contact. Now, has he twisted it round the corner enough? No, he hasn't. He's pushed it in fact. Oh, that's away. Oh, you lucky boy. That clattered into the trees, and would you believe it? He probably thinks that's a goner. He doesn't know. And the big old leaderboard. Now, Open Championship entries, as I say, close tomorrow, the R&A at St Andrews. And also a word, Lawrence Batley. Wonderful tournament for the over 80s on June the 7th, next Monday. Ian Patey, an old chap, he's over 80. I can't believe Ian Patey's over 80. And Jeremy Hawke, who used to be one of the great game show hosts years ago, still playing off 16 handicap, 80 entries at Mid-Surrey. Next year it's being played at the Moortown Golf Club. Lovely spot just a mile or so north of Leeds town centre. So for those of you that are in that area, 96 is the oldest competitor. Fancy being able to still whistle around a golf course when you're 96. The Bedford twins are playing for the first time. So golf for all ages. What a wonderful old game it is.
Mark James, third shot at the par 5 17th, and he's almost laid up too close to the hole. It's less than a full lob wedge for him. It's just under 80 yards to go. A downhill shot. So they like to play a full shot in very often, so they get more action, more spin on the ball, and can control it better. Just a three-quarter swing from James onto a green that slopes away from him. Got the length absolutely spot on, just pushed it a fraction.
Retief, 13th, third shot. That's nice. Very nice. 12 under, putt to remain at 12 under.
Now Paul Eales on the 17th tee. Big test this one, and that's an excellent tee shot from Paul. Right down the high diddle duddle. We'll go back to the 13th. Montgomerie for a birdie. A loose one from Colin there. Missed it by at least 17 feet to the left of the flag. But I don't think he'll be too worried. Another par hits the page. Spectators obviously trying to get an advantage running off to the 14th. See them moving to the right of your screen there, up the hill to the 14th. But Retief, this should be a very well-earned par 4. Certainly his second shot was very fortunate, just missing the ditch to the left. And that's a nice break there. Keeps him at 12 under. And Peter was mentioning the Bedser twins. Quite an amazing couple they are. Probably dressed in the same outfits for the last 25, maybe even 50 years. Tough to tell them apart, I know that.
Wonderful characters. Up ahead now, Bernhard Langer has this putt for a par to stay at 11 under. Right hand on, move putt ahead forward. Oh, one or two little practice swings. Just like the old tick-tock of the old grandfather clock. In she goes. There she goes. Bang. He holds a few, you know.
And Els, I believe this is his 4th shot on the 17th. Nice easy birdie. Seen a couple of those today, haven't we? Almost got excited about that one. Doesn't mean a lot to Ernie being 7 shots from the lead and chipping in.
Back to our final pair, 14th tee. Again, right at the flag. But still, we've seen some very dramatic changes over these last 5 holes at Wentworth, but Montgomerie very much in control.
Mark James just missing his putt there for a birdie. And really could have done with getting out of that log jam for 2nd spot.
Back to the 14th, Schussen. Talking about the wonderful condition of the course, and there's the gentleman who wields the big whip, Chris Kennedy, who has a wonderful team of workers here, indoor and outdoor. Blessed with some very good people operating on Wentworth and its courses. Hewson, one of 3 players now at 12 under. Steady. Just going back. There she goes. Another yard. It was good. Or maybe a couple of yards. Next Sunday, Grandstand will be bringing you the Amateur Championship, which this year is will be played at Royal County Down, where the mountains of Mourne sweep down to the sea, and we're looking forward to going over there and seeing that wonderful golf course. And today we're blessed with Michael Rush and Paul Gilday, who've come from Bangor, our friends in Bangor, who are great supporters of our wheelchair crusade. Stephen Orr and the gang over there, Rotary Roundtable, they all chip in. And Michael and Paul have been here and enjoying the day. It's amazing how many people like we're looking at now who contribute in so many ways to various charities and all sorts of bits and pieces through this game of golf. Indeed, so many sports and pastimes providing so many and doing so many charitable deeds.
Right ahead on the 18th. Ian Garbett in the bunker on the left of the fairway. Didn't like that one too much. Still got a chance though, with a pitch shot and a putt there for a birdie. Garby and Rowley there, look at that. Rowley, the head of the European Tour Caddies Association.
Good lad, eh? Good.
He's been handing out the Bernardo's badges this week.
He was a great friend of my old caddy, little Jimmy Cousins, who I had for many years and who went on to caddy for Manuel Pinheiro for umpteen years, who he sadly died a couple of years ago. Too young to go.
He certainly was, and a very good caddy as well. He caddied for me a couple of times and one of the best. Jimmy, caddying on that great golf course in the sky now.
O'Neill's first to tee up on the 18th hole, and it's the two bunkers down the left-hand side of the fairway that they really have to avoid, so they try and shape the ball left to right. The run out here is 320 down to the ditch. To reach those bunkers, well, just about 270 yards. A fine drive by Ernie, starting that, cutting it round the trees, and
'17th, Paul Eales. Tied for second spot at the moment. Oh, that's unlucky. Just needed one more little hop forward.
Mark James must avoid the bunkers. Nice little cut will do him no end of good. But come on now, sit down. Sit down. Oh, it's okay. And his stance will be all right as well. He won't be in the bunker.
'14th green, long putt for Retief Goosen. And, well, still a little work to do there.
Now Bernhard Langer. This will be his second shot to the 15th. Left side of the fairway. Long iron for Bernard, trying to hold this ball from left to right. But I've got a feeling he's pulled that one. And leaving himself a very difficult bunker shot up this green.
Montgomerie, after that fine tee shot at the 14th, for yet another birdie. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, perhaps just not enough speed to carry it into the hole. But when you're 5 strokes ahead, if you keep getting pars, the other guys are going to get 6 birdies to go past you, which is a very comforting thought. Particularly when you've got 2 par 5s coming up. But still, there are dangerous holes. Goosen for his par 3 to stay at 12 under. Mark James playing the 18th is 12 under. If he can get a birdie there, might get second spot on his own, but Goosen is looking very comfortable.
Retief Goosen still well in the hunt in the other tournament, sharing the lead for that with Mark James and Paul Eales, but Colin Montgomerie, who hasn't had a bogey since, what, Saturday afternoon, midway through the second round at the 15th, he won't be relaxing at all. 63 is the course record here. Monty is currently 7 under par for his round today. The tournament record is 18 under par, Bernhard Langer in 1987, and as Peter said, those 2 closing par 5s to come. The 18th, which Montgomerie habitually seems to eagle. But it's been a day of wonderful scoring. We've had 19 rounds below 70 completed so far. Harmo Sandelin, one of those with a 66. Warren Bennett, the Challenge Tour winner last year. Sergio Garcia, some of his best form with a round of 66 today. Sandy Lyle in at 6 under par. Ian Woosnam as well.
15th. And I fancy this is not a driver. No, it's not. Splits the fairway again. 23 yards, 23 paces across there. Fairway used to run it right to the edge, and it looked very mundane, like railway lines. But over the years, we've given it a little more definition, which certainly from a television point of view makes it look more attractive. They like it. And yeah, two beauties.
We'll go ahead to David Carter. Chip shot from the right of the 18th. And finding its way down this green, and a lovely stroke there from David Carter. Very popular player on the European Tour.
Paul Eales at the 17th. No, just getting a little bit edgy now. That's a par for Paul. He'll get a very nice pay packet if he could. Certainly will if he gets no worse than a 5 at the last hole.
Now Mark James, it looks to have got a lot of that one. And that's finding its way right up into the green. Great shot from Jesse there. Now if he could pop that one in and finish at 14 under, could be good enough for second on his own.
Langer from the bunker at the 15th. Up the hill. Oh, dug it. Dug it, that's all right. Got an easier putt from this side than left. As the bunker raker goes in. Everyone, your own personal bunker raker.
O'Neill's second shot at 18, just 187 to the front, 218 to the flag. A bit of a downhill lie. And Ernie's pulled that a fraction left. Oh, and got a good kick. It was not the side to miss it, but that goes through the green, so it'll have a little bit of work to do yet.
Well, he chipped in at the last hole, Bev. I think wouldn't put it past him to chip in again here at the 18th. The latest inhabitant of the estate.
Langer at the 15th. This to stay at 11 under. Played an excellent bunker shot there. Just a little bit of movement on this one from right to left. Needs to be a positive stroke, this one. This will turn a lot if he doesn't quite catch the ball properly. And overdone it. And now he's got one of those nasty little ones that he used to hate.
Paul Eales at the 18th. Steady. Oh, that. Well, he should get a 5, but you never know.
Back to Langer at the 15th. He's going to move very swiftly from left to right. happy to see that one go in, just tapping down a couple of spike marks. But that's a bogey for Bernhard, just the second bogey of the day. And he'll make his way to the 16th.
Retief Goosen, he's hit this 15th fairway, which is one of the most difficult ones to hit. He's got 206 to the flag, but it's downhill over that big gaping bunker which is looking at him. So he won't be hitting that full distance, only about a 4-iron. Really has stuck to his guns very well today in very difficult circumstances. And he doesn't like that one, and that's the reason why, because it's in the bunker on the left-hand side, and it's got an awkward place. Awkward place. It's sitting up all right, but it's on the side of the bunker, not ideal by any means. He just said how well he's done. Stuck to his guns so well. Bad one. Colin Montgomerie, beautiful drive down the middle. He wants to hit this 175 yards and be perfect. It's going to be a little left for Colin, but pretty good for everybody else. 20 feet below the hole, a very good shot by Colin.
Stephen Leaney on the 18th. Excuse me, the 17th. That was his chance of a birdie. And he'll just tap in for his 5.
Ernie, take the flag out. Chipped in at the last, and do you know? Oh! His name was Ernie. 4 for 68, that putt for 68 for Elf.
This is the 16th tee, Bernhard Langer. And just drawing that one towards the bunker. And actually goes just left of the fairway bunker there. But a good angle to come in from. Knows what he's doing.
Mark James, eagle putt at the 18th. Good spade. Oh, just went left to right. That's a little bit fiery, Mark. It'll be all right if he gets it in, but if he doesn't, that'll be an expensive finish. He didn't get his birdie at the 17th, but many have. And now this one. This for a 66. This will be a wonderful round of golf. And he keeps telling us, well, I only come along to see the rest of the lads play. I have no great expectations. I enjoy going to play in Madeira and all places south of the Mississippi, but I really don't enjoy this. But if I pop it in and go on with 48 million euros, it'll be worth a few bob, whatever a euro is. Come on, Marcus. Oh, it just fell. Well done. It did the disappearing act. Well done. I'll give those delphiniums some stick when I get home tomorrow. 32, 34, 66, and Mark James comes in with a very good score, 13 under. Excellent playing. Ernie has this for his birdie 4. 68. 11 under par. Well done, Ernie. Well, he lives up the road, you see. And he finished 4-4. Made it look... well, he didn't make the 17th look very easy. He was in the woods and behind the trees and then chipped in from about 40 yards. Always nice to see Ernie else playing.
Now Goosen, bunker shot 15th. Tough one to get up the hill. Don't want to hit it past the hole. Played it sensibly below the hole. May even get a little bit of help with Monty. His 15th hole, ranked number 1 in difficulty. It's not been a friendly hole for Montgomerie, this one. He's had a couple of bogeys this week, and that's a great view from behind. The putt ahead, but that's a safe par. And really, that's all he needs now. Cruising. And that's the first time he's had 3 pars on the trot today. He's had an eagle and 2 birdies in 3 holes, but first time he's had 3 pars together.
Suddenly you look at the card there, Howard, you realise if he gets all 4s, he goes around the course in 63, which is not too bad.
Not too bad, course record.
Look at that. 32 out. I always count still in old money, so that's 4 under 4s for me. 3 under par, 4 under 4s.
5 under for the back 9 so far in 4s. As Retief drops a stroke, and he'll go back to 11.
Gentleman phoned in and wanted to know what was the best score I'd ever done here. Actually, I won a couple of tournaments here when not with hickory shafted clubs, I hasten to add, but I did win twice here, and this Wentworth foursomes with Harold Ridgely, an American serviceman who played very well. And he also wanted to know if Mr. Hay had any notoriety. Well, he holed in one at the 14th, I can tell you, when it was a full drive.
On to the 18th, Stephen Leaney. Now, he made a bit of a mess of this one yesterday, but hopefully he won't do the same today. Heading towards that bunker, 282 yards to that part of the bunker. Perfectly judged.
Langan out. The 16th hole has caused him and many others, a lot of bother this week, and always does. And you see he's left himself away short.
Now Slippery needs to get down in a pitch and a putt here to tie Mark James for 2nd place. I'm sure his caddy Ian has already worked out how much this will earn him. £144,500 for 2nd place on their own. Buy a few new outfits for Jane.
And to the 16th now, Colin. Well, now, has Colin got the big one out? No, I don't think so, but he'll be just... No, the face tells all that's all right. With his sort of left to right, he's had 3 pars on this hole so far, and that's right up, almost to that little road. That's a wonderful shot. Wonderful shot. The traffic noise you can hear is the old A30, which trundles by about 50 or 60 yards from this tee. Iron for Hooson. Now, has he found the fairway? It looks good. Yes. Now look at the difference between his shot and Colin's. Must be 20, 25 yards. So, although Hooson will only have 5, 6 iron, probably 6 iron, Colin will have a small iron, a 9 iron, 8, little 8, big 9 to the green.
That's a view from above the trees down the 16th hole. Turns the corner.
Well, the battle is certainly still on for 2nd place. Mark James having grabbed the advantage with that birdie at the last to finish at 13 under par, round of 66 for the Ryder Cup captain today. Let's hear from him talking with Doogie Donnelly.
Mark, you're quite sure you don't want to play in the Ryder Cup instead of captaining?
Maybe I should say this every year. I don't want to play in it. Yeah,
Wonderful round today. How much did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it a lot because I played really well, and I made almost no mistakes. Hit it on the apron on the third. That was the nearest I came to missing a green, and hit a bad putt at 18. My first putt, I suddenly gave it a dig, thought try and hold it for some obscure reason. But I mean, apart from that, I put the ball virtually where I wanted. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And how's the year been for you? Because your golf's been very good, not all the time, admittedly, but you've played some very good golf most weeks, haven't you? And yet you seem to, or we're told you have all the responsibility of the Ryder Cup captaincy as well. Doesn't seem to be affecting your game.
It's really not that bad. There's a lot of interviews and media work, and I do get asked the same questions a lot. But that it doesn't bother me. That the really hard work. You know, my wife Jane does it. She's sorting out food and clothes and things, and Richard Hills and Mike Gray, the team there, are handling tough stuff. So you know, really, it's I just sort of tell people what to do a bit and do the interviews.
Looking at the leaderboard at this tournament, you must be pleased to see players like Langer and Olazabal who are important to you playing well, and Monty, who I think the word you used a few minutes ago was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it is good to see some of the players who'll be in the team or close playing well around this course, because it's always a great test. But yeah, Monty's 17 under is this week is good.
Yeah, but at the moment it looks like you may well be taking second place on your own, and that's pretty good as well.
That would be wonderful. I would enjoy that.
Well played, Mark. Well
Thanks
done.
A lot.
Thank you, Mark.
Cheers, Jesse.
There's the awesome Monty. Well, he's really has played wonderfully well. Had a couple of little stutters and a few little stampabouts, but really he hits the ball so straight, and keeps saying he keeps playing his game. He's not gone off on any great flight of fancy to improve and do wondrous things, and then, you know, it's all very well to say, well, I want to improve, I'm going to dismantle what got me to this good position and start again. It happens very rarely indeed.
Paul Eales tidying up an excellent tournament for Paul. Well done. Third on his own at the moment.
It's not that Paul's small, he's just playing with a couple of giants there, which is Caddy and Carlson, about a foot taller. Bernard always struggles well, doesn't he, Bernard Howard? You know, even if he's not playing well, you get the feeling he's desperate not to drop one shot more than he possibly can.
He certainly is a grinder, that's for sure. And he'll grind a 71 out of a 72, but not with putting like that. That's an unfortunate one for him.
Yes, he seemed to strike it right, just didn't line it up. He certainly doesn't twitch him anymore.
Stephen Leaney on the 18th. Bit better swing than he made yesterday, and that's right in the heart of the green. Just a little bit fiery to stop at the flag, but 15 feet. That left for an eagle putt on the last hole.
16th. Houston second. Ooh, look at him.
Colin Montgomerie, his ball, Peter, is exactly 40 yards beyond where Retief Goosen was. So that confirms your thoughts that it's not an advantage if you can hit it straight this far. But Colin's just got 115 yards to go to this flag, which is a dangerous position right at the back. He doesn't want to go past this flag. So it's a great shot again.
Oh, steady.
Very unlucky. Just took the wedge and hit it very hard, and that's why it got all that spin on it.
Well, he does hit very straight, and Howard Clark was saying about Gary Blair, saying he had to leap sideways to see the flag because he was so straight. They used to say Harry Varden hated playing the same course twice in a day because he always ended up in the afternoon at the divots he took in the morning. It's another old wives' tale, a lot of old tosh. But they're good yarns, aren't they? They're good old yarns.
I really want to tell you, this is Bernhard Langer on the 17th. True story that was, you know, Gary Player? True story. Oops, what did that hit? Little bit of a lump there. Safely down the right-hand side of this 17th and a view of the green.
Peter Lonard at the 18th. Put his second shot just through the green, just a little bit further away than Ernie Els. And we saw Ernie chip just miss on the left-hand side. He's laying this one way open. Just a little dab to the edge of the green. Oh, a little bit more of a dab than that. I thought he had the club face way, way open there. I don't know what he was trying to do there.
Back on 16. Colin Montgomerie. And there's his dear lady, Emma. She's seen all this before. Straight hitting, greens, fairways. Just a way of life, isn't it?
Garaz, here we come.
Well, they're in the tented village this week, so she can get rid of a
maybe Tesco's
pile of this lot. £216,679 minus PGA levy.
303,000 euros.
As Peter says, 303,350 euros. I wouldn't mind the 350 euros. Another lag putt, perfectly judged putt from Monty. Safely in for another par.
Please stand still, folks, until both players have finished. Thank you.
Now this is a big moment here. This goes in, it'll be an eagle. He'll jump up to 12 under. He's left. Just couldn't see it. Was pretty straight. There's a few bob gone there, and Mr. Leaney goes to 11 under, tied with Ernie Els at the moment. And although Colin has a 4-stroke advantage, you can do a bit of damage with a few wayward shots at the 17th. So don't disappear just yet. Hang around for a while and just see how Colin gets on with his tee shot at the 17th, because that's the one danger left for him.
Now, Goosen. This is for a birdie on 16. And unless he finishes in second spot, I fear that he may lose his Order of Merit lead this week. Monty should overtake him in the race for the 7th PGA Tour Money Leader title and everything else that goes with it.
Retief Goosen, the main challenger to Mark James for second, because Paul Eales has finished with that round of 67, which quite comfortably is his best performance of the season. 3 birdies, no drop shots, and 1 eagle, that spectacular second shot which flew into the hole at the par 4 third. Round of 67, 12 under par. Let's hear from him with Doogie.
Paul, many congratulations. We spoke after the opening round and you said you just wanted to keep it going and carry on playing well, and you've certainly done that.
Yes, it was just a question of hanging on to the coattails of the big boys, really, and that seems to have been what happened. So, no, I'm delighted, obviously. It's been my best finish for a number of years. It's going to be my biggest check wherever I finish. So it's been a good week's work.
And the highlight of a very nice round was, of course, the third, wasn't it? Tell us what happened here.
Well, my caddy was thinking 4-iron, and I know it's a long way up that hole, so I said, no, it's a 3-iron. It's a new tailor-made club that I've got. And as soon as I hit it, I said, be right. Oh, what a pretty sight.
You can't get much more right than that. Straight in the hole for an eagle. Yeah, I think you liked that one. But a top 3 finish here at the Volvo PGA, that really is a huge boost to the whole season, isn't it?
Well, it is, obviously. Now, I'm in employment for next year, so that's a card. I don't have to worry about that too much. So it's a question of trying to relax and just go on and keep performing as I've been doing, because I have been playing well coming into here. The results obviously haven't been as good as this one, but who knows what's going to happen over the next few months.
Is there a secret as to why it's all happened this week? Is it just a case of putts dropping, or is there another reason maybe?
I think so. It's just one of those where we started nicely and I managed to keep it going. And today, really my thoughts were with Andrew Murray and his wife Deborah, because one of their sons is in hospital at the moment undergoing an operation. So that was in my mind all the time, and I was thinking to myself, well, you know, that's the reality of the situation. I'm having a game of golf, so I really did try and keep myself thinking that way rather than looking at the leaderboard and getting worried that way.
Yeah, great week for you, Paul. Delighted. Well done.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Nice thoughts from Paul Eales, and this was Bernard Langer a moment ago, his second on the 17th, coming off bogeys at the 15th and the 16th. Langer at 9 under par, and that's settling just a little short of the 17th.
McNulty, who's had a miserable day by his standards. He's 4 over par. He's going to find the green with a good shot, but that's 3, and he's hit that from a long way off. Things don't always just happen when you want them to. Now, this is the big one here for Colin. He's got his driver out. He plays left to right. He's 4 ahead. And that's a very good drive indeed. Didn't bounce as much as he would have liked, but just to aim it down there with all that trouble on the left-hand side. I know he's 4 shots ahead, but you know, there have been many a player taking 7 and 8 on this hole. Goosen with a couple of 4s can finish, or better, can finish second alongside Mark James. Langer up ahead, and behind him the greenkeeper. Very nice to have 2 chaps with each match going round raking the bunkers. Of course, normally the caddies rake, and there's always this discussion where they put the bunkers and the caddies are in a hurry and they drop them down here and they drop them there. It's a wonderful extravagance to have people going round with each group raking the bunkers. It helps to speed up play, keeps things moving along, and well, it's just, I think we first saw it at the Open Championship, and it's a good innovation, and it's very good of the lads to come and take part in it. And their love of the game. Now Langer's 3rd shot, he's let things sort of come adrift a bit over the last couple of. He's just gone 5-5. He's only 1 under now. It's a bounce, needs a bounce, didn't get quite the right sort of bounce, so looks odds on a par 5 here at the 17th. Fancied he would be really challenging today, Langer, but hasn't worked out that way. Romero's fallen away also. Gronberg not bad, but I thought somebody might have made a big rush, but Montgomerie's been invincible. Oh, there we are. You see, just come and have drinks on the lawn, my dears, and we'll just watch a bit of golf. It's quite nice, you know. Not a bad little pad there.
Quite surprised to see Retief Goosen going. His 2nd shot on 17. Obviously felt he couldn't get up, so just trying to lay up, and has done a bad job of it, really. Out on the right in a thick rough, and that's not a place to be.
I think the final pair have waited pretty well every hole, haven't they, Mike? As far as I've followed them with the day, they've just been...
it's been quite slow for them, Peter, but they haven't had the clock on them today. I've just seen Andy McPhee, who's the senior referee out here, and he's quite happy with everything. Colin Montgomerie can hit the ball right to left if he wants to. circumstances, you'd have to say that was a good idea, but it's in the rough, very close to where Goosen came on the right-hand side, and not ideal again.
Now down at the green, the 17th green, Bernhard Langer, just a little bit of a fluffed pitch shot. This will give you an idea of the way the green slopes from back to front, so it should travel up a wee bit. Just trying to get up the hill. Bernhard Langer, who got away with murder at the early part of the round with some great recoveries and hold pitch shots, it's sort of run out in it. And the 17th, which is a very nice natural arena, all the way up in front of the gardens and round the back. Mark McNulty in the centre of the green. Now you can see how the spectators spill down and then through the gap across the little road to the 18th tee. Now McNulty's 4 over par today and 4 under for the championship. Had a marvellous 67 yesterday, but nothing has really gone right for the South African. A lot of bogeys, just a 1 solitary birdie.
So that's Kronberg at the 18th. This for a 3, an eagle. He's 9 under. This putt for 68, and he's... oh, what a beautiful, beautiful putt. A 69 from Kronberg. 10 under. Romero has his companion for the round is he's level par. Kronberg, good week for him. And here's Eduardo. Good finish. 72.
Colin Montgomerie then, with quite a long way to go coming from this thick rough. And if he finds the heart of the green, which he has done, it's a pretty wise and safe policy. Leading by 4 shots.
Goosen from just a few yards further on, but Colin's ball was absolutely buried there, and this one isn't a whole lot better either. So it just shows that getting off these fairways, again, not to be recommended. Just to his most lofted club. Well, from there, I think he'll be very pleased with that. A good shot.
Well, vast sums of prize money. 216,000 is the first prize, and it drops to 144 for second, and it sort of leaps down then at £25,000 gap. So any mistake is very costly. Welcome to the green. I think if it hadn't been quite so cold yesterday, they would have surpassed all the records and crowds for this championship. As it is, I'm pretty certain they've got up close to 70,000 for the week. Colin's father, James, was here at when he was honoured at the beginning of the week for his performance last year. He's certainly dominating European golf, there's no question of that, and he's the man he's playing with is the leading money winner, Tief Hoosen, who's nearly won 300,000 this year. Colin won £200,000 here last year, and if he wins this one, he's picked up a few bob at Wentworth in the last 2 seasons, well over £400,000. A lot of euros. I think his display of golf at the Oxfordshire 2 weeks ago in the final round and his display today definitely proves him to be the finest in Europe. He's allowed a lot more to the left than I thought he needed. It's a strange green, the 17th, that travelled straight on. And he feels confident enough with a 4-shot cushion to finish off without marking the ball.
McNulty at the 18th. All right. Now Langer. Well, a good shot, but off the fairway.
Now Retief Hussain for a 4. Well, he's got to do something quite miraculous down the line. Well, he's got not miraculous, but an eagle 3. If he gets that at the last, he would shoot up into second place along with Mark James. He's capable of it. He's a big enough hitter of the ball. And off they go in a long walk through, down through the gap, across the road, and then round to the 18th. As they do that, the spectators take as many shortcuts. We will take you through in alphabetical order, starting with Stephen Allen, the baby-faced assassin, they call him in Australia. Michael Campbell, he's done very well, nice to see that. And Coulthard finished with a 69. Those figures in the brackets on the right show you what they've done today. There's Eales 67, that might earn him 3rd place, and Nick Faldo was under par today. And Ian Garbett, that's a very good performance for a former amateur champion.
Yeah, and only 4 players left out on the course now. And just a moment to say congratulations to Lindrick Artisan. Sent me a lovely book, Flat Caps and Bicycle Clips. It's the story, the history of the Artisan section of the Lindrick Golf Club, where we played the Ryder Cup matches in 1957. And a club that I have very fond memories of indeed. And I was sorry to hear that John Jacobs' cousin, who was pro there for so many years, is sadly not in a very good shape at all. But well done, gentlemen. Not so many clubs now have artisan sections, probably because the artisans have better cars than the secretaries, but that's another story. I don't think I've seen a better exhibition from Colin Montgomerie than today. You could argue that Open Championships and PGA events in America, PGA Championships, are more nerve-wracking and different than this, but I think the way he's played has been an absolute delight, and he's waiting, as usual, for Bernhard.
Well, now he's trying to shape the second shot around the trees. He's done it beautifully because it can come off that bank. Unfortunately, the little bit of semi-rough there just trapping it. But there's the 18th. It's the only hole left in this event. I don't think we're going to see a playoff this occasion, not with the 4-shot lead. And this is one of Colin Montgomerie's favourite holes for driving. The left to right flight he prefers, ideally suited. Very well marshalled. Colin Montgomerie has decided not to take the driver. A bit over 300 yards, there's a little stream that runs across. 3 big bunkers on the left, and I think he'll aim at those bunkers and just let it drift.
Two shots, Eddie. Go ahead, Colin, lad. Go, stop.
I don't know what all that meant. That is perfect. That is perfect.
Stand still. Thank you.
I think the local brew may be taking its toll here.
Now then, the last opportunity to see a tee shot this week from Retief, who was leading in the order of merit. Now that's just cutting close to the trees on the right. And will it make it out? Oh, just about see the top of the ball. But he won't have a very clear view of the green.
There's the PGA Trophy. And there you have it. It's a mighty jug, isn't it? Take a few bottles to fill that. And what a great scene. It's almost like Wembley Way or the marathon, the walking marathon. And a smiling Montgomerie. Why not, Alex? He's played magnificently today. I don't think he could possibly have thought his way around the course better or struck the ball better. And if he gets a 4 here, he'll be round in 64. That'll be the lowest round of the day. Truly remarkable achievement, leading from the front.
Absolutely, and he did exactly the same at the Oxfordshire. He worked it out, he played the golf, and he was quite clear to admit at the end that he did everything as planned. And I'm sure when he finishes and interviewed here, he will state exactly the same. He and Alison McLean there, they have a great code on the golf course, and they've been absolutely perfect.
Not dropped a stroke since the 15th hole in the second round. And when you think of the way he played at the Oxfordshire Club, and he just went round in very difficult condition, more difficult than we've seen here. He didn't drop strokes there in many of his rounds, and that's a superb round of golf. The one solitary 5 there was the par 5 at the 17th hole. He's on the final hole, which is again a par 5, but he'll just whip this into the green. He usually finishes with a 3.
Well, he took 3 weeks holiday. He said that he would probably win the 2 out of the 3 when he came back. He let Tiger Woods sneak in and win the one in the middle across in Germany. And talking about Germans, here, Bernhard Langer. Bernhard Langer, just a little bit of a chip and run. I don't think he'll go for much height on this. He'll make it scoot across the green. Yes, a low running shot. He's a shrewd operator, this man with the short clubs. And Mark McNulty there will be bitterly disappointed in his round today. Before over par for the round after he's 67 yesterday. He doesn't enjoy the best of health. He's not been fit, really fit, for the last few seasons. Well, another one that didn't take the turn, nor the drop. Par 5 finish. Round of 76, just that one solitary birdie at the 8th hole. Bernhard Langer, He escaped at the 4th hole when he played it rather badly, then popped an iron shot straight in the hole, got away with that. Had a few more exciting moments and was out in 33, but he's had a run of 3 consecutive 5s, 2 of them bogeys, and he has this for a 4, this for around a 70. It's a difficult green to read. They all are at Wentworth. In beautiful condition. He could probably hit this dead straight if it was firm enough. He might aim a little left. Yes. A good birdie 4. Around 70. And that's very good play. One of the many on 10 under.
Goosen's second shot at 18. 265 to the flag, with the flag back left, as we've seen, aiming at that bunker and trying to cut it back. Or
up to the hospitality, that one, I fancy. Not on the roof as Barry Lane was. Never seen one up there before. That was quite amazing. Collins just can see everything he wants to, and he's got a long iron out. Cut it. Couldn't get a bounce. Oh, he got the bounce the wrong way, over the top. A bit skinny, a bit cutty, but that's all right. Listen, when you're emptying ahead, you're all right. He played 2 wonderful shots in here yesterday and the day before. Got 3s on both occasions. Now he needs to get down in a chip and a putt from there for around a 64, which is a bit special.
Peter, he's had an incredible 3 weeks. I mean, assuming that he wins here today, the 3 weeks I mentioned, 2 wins out of 3, including what he did at Germany, £363,000. It is quite amazing. He's won over £6 million on European Tour golf, and that's not bad. You remember when he turned up at Sunningdale as an amateur in the Walker Cup?
I do indeed.
It's a bit chubby from Scotland.
Yes, that wasn't a very happy occasion for the Walker Cup team at Sunningdale. It only seems like 3 or 4 years ago to me, but it's quite a handful or 2 of years back. 12 years it was. I can't believe it's 12 years.
On your backs, please, folks. Thank you.
Well played, Colin. Well played indeed. It's been a very good 4 days indeed. Excellent golf, good crowds, everything running like clockwork. I mean, apart from that monsoon-like rainstorm we had on Saturday, it's been absolutely delightful.
Peter, you were the winner of this great championship on no fewer than 3 occasions. Was that the trophy, or is that a new one?
No, I think it was a new one. I think it was a cigarette lighter I got.
I wondered if you filled it, you see.
No, I filled it with gas. Filled it with petrol. Those were in the days when it was quite nice to smoke. At least we were told it was. He's got a tricky pitch over this sort of little knob.
as you said, Peter, he's close to hospitality, and you've got a free drop away from that into the nearest dropping zone, which is where he's playing it from now. Awkward shot over a little knoll there. Throw it up in the air and won't go too far. Beautifully played. It just hasn't run out as much as he thought it might.
Now Colin's going downhill slightly. He's got one of his most lofted clubs. And a great little tight lie. And it grabbed a little bit too much, but 2 putts for a par 5, 2 putts for a round of 65. There's the good lady. 3 children at home. Oh, there are 2 of them there. Look at them. Just says Daddy. Can I go and see Daddy? No, stay where you are. Don't do that. You wait till I get you home. Won't bring you out again. I think Mr. Goosen's going to putt first because he knows that there'll be great cheering and oohing and out. This is a little customary thing when someone is winning. The winner putts out last. I think he's a lot nearer than Colin's ball. Oh, you've done well this week, Colin, my boy. You've played quite beautifully. And this needs to go in to tie with Paul Eales at 12 under. Otherwise, he will be with Ernie Els and Stephen Leaney. Mark James second on his own. Nope. Didn't come down. There's a funny little runs here. You move the ball 6 inches or 9 inches one way or t'other, and there's 2 or 3 inches of break, or sometimes there's none. So he can't birdie either of the last 2 holes, but pretty good. Goosen, he finishes tied for 4th. Paul Eales will be 3rd. Good week for Paul, and a wonderful performance from Mark James. But here's the man of the week. This for a 4. Keep still, Daddy. A couple of minutes more. This for a birdie 4. This for a 64. He's done it, you know. He's done it, you know. He's just an old show-off. Oh, well done. No, well done. Well done, and so say all of us. That's tremendous golf. 32, each 9, a round of 64, the lowest round of the day, with the lowest round of the week. And what a time to do it when you're leading in the final round of the PGA Championship.
Thank you, Peter. We've seen quite an extraordinary exhibition of golf from Colin Montgomerie today. And he becomes the first player since Nick Faldo in 1980-81 to successfully defend the Volvo PGA Championship. A final round of 64 to win by 5 from Mark James, the Ryder Cup captain, who now finds himself in the automatic qualifying places for a position in the Ryder Cup team. Paul Eales, his best finish, 3rd at 12 under par. Paul Eales with a round of 67 today. Retief Hoosen, Ernie Els, Stephen Leaney at 11 under. Matthias Grunberg, David Carter and Bernard Langer at 10. And 3 players at 9 under par. Jose Maria Olazabal, Sven Struve and Harmo Sanderlin. And all those players at 8 under par. Van der Velde, Ian Garbett, splendid championship for him, and indeed for Warren Bennett, the Challenge Tour winner last year. Robert Carlson and David Howell, and Darren Clark falling away. The 2nd round leader had a couple of disappointing days to finish this championship. Paul Broadhurst, tremendous round of 67 for him today, and he's in that whole group of players at 7 under par that also includes Sergio Garcia with his round of 66 today. That's how they finished in this Volvo PGA Championship. But Colin Montgomerie today, from first to last, absolute perfection. Still the champion, and Howard Clark, you just knew he was going to hold that putt at the last, but technically and tactically, that was near perfection from Monty today.
Absolutely amazing. A lot of the professionals on tour, you know, really want to get a copy of Hogan at, I think, the Houston Country Club when he played a match there, and they revel at watching that. Hogan played one of the best rounds of golf that we've ever seen on film, and really that's just as good, if not better.
He thought his way around the course. He knew the treacherous area from the fourth onwards. He was careful. Tactically, absolutely right.
Several very dangerous shots, and it didn't even come close to hitting the shot into trouble. I don't think he missed a green today. I can't remember seeing him miss a green today, and he's just played a perfect round of golf.
Yeah, tremendous stuff, and he's, of course, in great spirits now for the US Open, which is coming up in a couple of weeks' time. He's a happy man, and he's down by the 18th green now with Dougie Donnelly.
Colin, very many congratulations again. I think most of us are rather stuck for superlatives. That was some performance.
Well, yeah, from word go, I hit the ball very well today, from tee to green, and I knew I was driving the ball well, and I knew that would give me confidence to go out and perform today. But I didn't honestly believe I wasn't going to make a mistake out there, you know, and that was key. I got up and down over a bunker at the third. I missed the fairway on the right, actually, and got up and down over a bunker at the third, and that kept the momentum going after birding the second. And then from then on, I never put a foot wrong, and I just gave myself enough chances to hold a few, really.
It must be a lovely feeling when you know that every department of your game is working so well. We know how good your driving is, but today your long irons were your short game. There was, as you said, nothing wrong.
No. Over this weekend, you know, to finish 18 under and 37 holes ago, I was 3 under. You know, so you know, to be 15 under par in the last 37 holes is good round here, and round anywhere for that matter. So yes, it was once I eagled the 12th. I just tried to hit the middle of the greens and do everything properly and do everything correctly, and did, and then was fortunate to hold the putt at the last. It was a bit of a bonus.
Yeah. I wonder where that round comes in your own personal list of great rounds of golf.
Well, it has to be right now. I mean, it has to be the best ball striking round possibly, and the best course management couple of rounds I've played, Sunday and Monday here, have been course managed very well. And not to drop a shot. I'm always very key on that, and not to drop a shot over the weekend, if you like. Sunday, Monday has been key to my victory here today.
Yeah. You told us 3 weeks ago that you were going to win 2 of the next 3 tournaments. Now, in
Well,
anyone else, that would be bravado.
Yeah, well.
But you meant it, and you've done it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't believe some of the stuff you say. You try and
I
talk
always believe you,
yourself into it.
Colin.
Well, you try and talk yourself into it. You try and be as confident as you can. And I came back from a 3-week spell and tried to win the Benson Hedges, and then obviously to come here and win the Volvo PGA to defend as well. I think it's easy enough. Well, it's not, but it was easier to win it the first time than it was to come back. Expectation was high, and try and defend. And to defend well, I'm very proud of.
Yeah, this is a great championship and a great golf course. How deep is the sense of satisfaction to have been a great winner?
Well, very deep. I mean, to be on top of this tour for so long means an awful lot to me. And there's some great players out here. There's fantastic young talent coming through, and it's always nice just to keep ahead of the game. And if it continues another year, it continues another year. But it won't. Someday, someone will come up and beat me. But right now, I'm very proud of what I've just achieved and what I have achieved over the last 6-7 years, and right now, long may it continue.
You've given us a great week, Colin. Very well done.
Thank you.
And the famous trophy will be back in the hands of Colin Montgomerie very shortly. We'll see the official presentation. But if you were Monty, I think what you would be most satisfied with is the final round form. We saw it in the Benson Hedges at the Oxfordshire, and to date, rock solid.
Incredible, yeah. He said he was going to win 2 out of the next 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and he has done. I mean, really, we ought to have a bet on him when he says things like that. But incredible golf. And he did miss the green at the 3rd today, but he got up and down out of the bunker, 100% out of the bunker there, and fantastic stuff.
He judged today to perfection. He seems to be judging the season to perfection as well. He must be thinking now, let's keep all this together for Pinehurst 2 and the US Open.
Yeah, it'd be nice for him to convert, one of these major championships. He's been very close on several occasions now, and it's really the one that's eluded him. I think he's well worthy of a major champion, and well, I wish him all the best.
Well, this hasn't eluded him. He is Volvo PGA champion once again, and we're heading down to the 18th green for the official presentation, which will be conducted by the Director of Tour Operations for the PGA European Tour, David Garland.
To runner-up, the scores are 67, 70, 72. Great last round of 66 for a total of 13 under par, 275. A Ryder Cup captain for this year's battle against Americans, Mark James. It's never easy to defend a title in any sport, let alone golf. But he's done it in tremendous style with a fantastic last round of 64. For a final total of 18 under par. Europe's #1 player for the last 6 years. I give you Colin Montgomerie. Volvo PGA Champion 1999.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, as always in these occasions, we must, and I must, on behalf of the players here, thank the main sponsor, and that's Volvo. I arrived on this tour and I got my playing privileges in the tour school in 1987, and I was lucky enough, as every player was on the tour, in 1988, my first year, that Volvo came on board and helped out the European Tour. And I must admit, I speak for myself and every other player on this tour, that the standards have risen and risen and risen and are still rising. And I thank Volvo for the continued support. To Chris Kennedy and his team of green staff, when I saw the thunderstorm, as you all probably did on Saturday evening there, this course was very much unplayable, and he got us round and got us into 2 balls on the Monday today, and I'd like to thank him on behalf of all the players again for the wonderful condition of this marvellous golf course. To Executive Director Ken Schofield and his team, I would like to thank him and his staff for all their hard work through the year and to make this tournament, again, the best that we have on the European Tour. Thank you. To the Wentworth Club for their hospitality, I thank you yet again. And to the second and third place players, Paul, well done today, and Mark has just got a bit of a dilemma ahead of him. He's now 7th in the Ryder Cup standings. And I tell you, his wife could captain the team and he can play. But last and by no means least, to yourselves, I felt very much at home here again, and without your support to make this occasion very special, it wouldn't be. So thank you very much for turning out, and I and everybody hope to see you again next year. Thank you very much.
Colin Montgomerie, the Volvo PGA champion once again. And Howard Clark, a quick thought about that dilemma for Mark James as we look at the happy Montgomerie clan alongside the 18th green. In the Ryder Cup standings, possibly in a position to automatically qualify. He's captain, doesn't want to play. What does he do?
A long way to go, but that's a great suggestion from Colin there, isn't it, that Jane could captain the team? I don't see why not.
Strong enough character. But Mark, could he play? Should he play?
Oh, he's got to make his own mind. I think he's already made his own mind up not to play. He's going to captain the team, and but he's playing great. I mean, he's played fantastic golf today, and he really looked in tune with the game, ripping the arms through the club, you know, through the ball, and had a lot of chances of birdies today. And I'm glad to see he hold that last putt on the 18th there. That made a big difference. And coming up short of another Scot in red and white, eh?
No doubting the health of the European Tour. He's talking to Ken Schofield there. We had record attendances here today of over 22,000. But when you see a player like Colin Montgomerie coming out of a 3-week break, winning the Benson Hedges reasonably comfortably, winning today reasonably comfortably once again, shouldn't the challenge from the younger players be coming through be a little bit stronger?
Certainly this week is one of our major events on tour, and some great names up there, you know, Montgomerie and James. Els again played a fantastic week, only finished a few shots behind, but Monty's left them standing yet again. 18 under par around this course is quite incredible. 67.5 is a tremendous average to have over 4 rounds on this West course. The flags wouldn't have been too easy today. They certainly weren't easy the first 2 days, but the course gradually got easier as the week went on, and the soft scoring conditions, you know, really helped a lot of the low scoring that we saw today. Greens were very receptive. They were pure surface to putt on. I mean, they were just fantastic, and you could see on that last green that the ball rolled across the green and didn't even bobble once. It was just the only time it moved was downhill, and that was into the hole.
Next generation of British players are there. Clearly the next generation of European players are there. Sergio Garcia proved that once again today.
Yeah, Sergio had a great round. He shot 66 today, and he's going to be one to watch, that's for sure. And I'm looking forward to watching him over the next few years. Tremendous talent, and like the young chappie on the practice ground.
Yeah.
I forget his name now. He was hitting the ball away, and who's to know? He will be right up there.
Sergio Garcia, the amateur champion of last year. Next weekend on Grandstand, we'll have the story of the 1999 Amateur Championship. Takes place at Royal County Down. That's in Sunday Grandstand. Colin Montgomerie came close to winning that in 1984. Today he's turned in a faultless display. He remains Volvo PGA champion after a great 4 days here at Wentworth. Bye-bye.